Just earlier today, the U.S. military announced that somehow they have lost track of a Marine Corps F-35 fighter jet, which is now apparently just somewhere out in the country. The situation is in fact so dire that the military press office, which is normally very tight-lipped, they had to issue a statement asking the American public to help them find the missing jet. They even set up a hotline for people to call. Now, if that all sounds too ridiculous to be true, let's go through the story together, starting at the very beginning, right after you take a super quick moment to smash those like and subscribe buttons, which will quite literally force the YouTube algorithm to share this video and this content with ever more people. Now, to start with, around 5:30 p.m. yesterday, the official Facebook page for the Joint Military Base located at Charleston, South Carolina, they posted the following message informing the American public of a missing aircraft. Quote, personnel from Joint Base Charleston and Marine Corps Air Station Buford are responding to a mishap involving an F-35B Lightning II jet from Marine Fighter Attack Training Squadron 501 with the 2nd Marine Aircraft Wing. The pilot ejected safely and was transferred to a local medical center in stable condition. Emergency response teams are still trying to locate the F-35. The public is asked to cooperate with military and civilian authorities as the effort continues. If you have any information that would assist the recovery teams, please call the 2nd Marine Aircraft Wing Public Affairs Office. Meaning they don't know where the plane is and they're asking the American public for help. And by the way, just as an aside, if you happen to come across this aircraft, I'll throw the phone number down into the description box below this video for your convenience. So if you happen to find the plane, well, you can call that number. Regardless, the missing plane in question here is not a regular F-35. This is a Marine Corps F-35B Lightning II stealth fighter, with many aspects of its design being world-class in stealth-related technology. The airframe is shaped in a way that minimizes the radar cross-section, so it's hard or in fact nearly impossible to be seen on radar. In fact, I've read that it's as hard to spot as a golf ball in the middle of the sky. And then also, the entire thing is made from RAM, which is radar-absorbent materials, making it even harder to track. And these stealth abilities appear to now be working perhaps too well, given the fact that the military apparently can't find the thing. And as you likely imagined, these planes are not cheap. The price tag for one of these F-35s is around $80 million, with the entire F-35 program, including the planes, the upgrades, and the maintenance, costing the American taxpayers a cool $1.7 trillion, at least, which is all well and good in order to maintain air superiority, unless, of course, you lose the plane, which is exactly what happened. Now, this missing F-35 belonged to one of the training squadrons within the 2nd Marine Aircraft Wing, located over in South Carolina. And apparently, what happened was that this fighter jet was, on Sunday afternoon, flying over top North Charleston. At some point, an incident occurred. Now, it's not exactly clear what the incident was. However, whatever it was, the incident caused one of the pilots to eject from his plane. Now, fortunately, that pilot landed safely and has now since been treated and is apparently in stable condition. However, the plane, without a human pilot, it continued to fly on autopilot, and for some reason, the transponder aboard the plane is not working. Meaning that as long as you believe the official story that's coming out of the military press office, they are not able to track the jet. The whereabouts are currently unknown, and given the fact that it's a stealth jet with some of the most advanced stealth-related technologies, well, they're just not able to find it, which is why they issued this call to the public, asking the American people to call if they see a plane crash on their lawn, or if they're jogging through the woods, they look up and they see a plane stuck in the trees. Regardless, at the time that we're recording this episode, which is now about 22 full hours after the Charleston military base released the initial statement, as of yet, the plane has not been recovered. Although, according to a spokesperson for the base, the plane is no longer in the air. Quote, the jet was left in autopilot mode when the pilot ejected from the aircraft. Authorities believed there was a possibility that it could have remained airborne for some time, though as of noon Monday, they were certain it was no longer flying. However, if it's indeed no longer flying, and yet it's still to be discovered, then very likely it landed either in water or in some rural part of the country without too many people. In fact, according to the most recent statement from the airbase, quote, based on the jet's last known position and in coordination with the FAA, we are focusing our attention north of JB Charleston around Lake Moultrie and Lake Marion. Now, there are still obviously many questions regarding the story, and several things don't quite seem to add up. For instance, the pilot ejected from a plane that was capable of still flying in autopilot mode for quite some time. So why would the pilot have to eject himself if the plane could still fly? And then also, what was the mishap that occurred which led to the so-called incident which led to the pilot ultimately having to eject himself. Now, one theory I've seen floating around there is that the problem had to do with the oxygen delivery system in the cockpit, which is apparently a problem that these fifth-generation fighters are known to have. In fact, here's an excerpt from a U.S. Air Force report. It came following the crash of an F-35 over in Florida, which happened 3 years ago, which was partly caused by the life support system. Quote, "It is known amongst the F-35 flying community that the oxygen delivery system is very different than legacy oxygen delivery systems, such as the one used in the F-15E. Likewise, in that earlier crash in Florida 3 years ago, besides the oxygen issue, there were also several technical deficiencies with the plane. Quote, the F-35 development was plagued by accumulated delays and technical deficiencies. A software instability of the stealth jet radar was one of the first F-35 problems observed, but more dangerous technical issues arose throughout the years. For instance, on October 5, 2020, the United States Air Force released a report in which it determined that some of those issues factored in the crash of an F-35A Lightning II near England Air Force Base in Florida in May of 2020. The pilot was distracted by a discrepancy in the alignment of his helmet-mounted display. Additionally, the specific life support system of the F-35 caused excessive fatigue to the pilot, who had participated in several days of exercise." But the story gets a lot deeper, which we'll get into right after I introduce the sponsor of today's episode by showing you this little piece of money.
Or rather, I should say that this is fake money being printed into oblivion by those geniuses over in Washington, D.C. And so before they completely obliterate your life savings, what I recommend you do is to convert that fake money into real money, which is physical gold and silver. And the best company to use is the sponsor of today's episode, American Hartford Gold, who also happen to be my own personal gold and silver bullion dealer. They have thousands of other 5-star ratings across the country. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. They ship quickly, directly to your doorstep. Their product listings are awesome. They're stacked with great options of gold and silver bullion and coins, and they have amazing customer service. When you pick up the phone and call them, you feel good knowing you support a company that supports the truth getting out into the wider American audience. And so calling them up is a no-brainer. But best of all, if you tell them that Roman sent you, they will throw in up to $5,000 worth of free silver with your first purchase. It's 866-242-2352, or you can simply text the word Roman, R-O-M-A-N, Roman, to 65532. Of course, all their details will be down in the description box below. And now let's head on back to the studio.
And so it's not exactly clear whether these problems, which were present 3 years ago, are the same one that caused this pilot just yesterday to eject from his plane. As soon as we get any official updates from the U.S. military, I'll share them with you. Otherwise, in the meantime, if you'd like to go deeper into why the F-35 program ballooned into a $1.7 trillion program, I'll throw a link to a phenomenal in-depth article which lays it out quite well. You can find that link down in the description box below. And then also, I know for a fact that we have many Air Force pilots who watch this program, because anytime I do an episode related to either fighter jets or the Air Force, you guys leave a lot of comments, many of which I believe are extremely helpful because you have a lot of insider knowledge. And so, if that happens to be you, I'd like to know, what's your opinion about what has happened here? Please leave your thoughts in the comments section below. And also, if you happen to have any actual insider information that you'd like to share, but just not publicly, you can email me directly at factsmatter@epochtimes.com. I'd love to hear from you. And then lastly, on a side note, you might not know this, but on the very same day that Joe Biden was sworn into office, by some magical coincidence, on that very same day, YouTube made the decision to demonetize our channel. Since January 10th of 2021, we have not been able to run ads before, during, or after our program. The super chat feature has been disabled, and our reach on the platform has just taken a nosedive. Now, on the back end of our channel, every few months, I appeal that decision. And for the past 3 years, that appeal has always been rejected. The reason for the rejection is that some channel associated with our account grossly violated a YouTube policy. They never tell us which channel, which piece of content, and which YouTube policy. Furthermore, every single one of our channels receives the very same message, meaning that every channel has been denied monetization because the system claims one of the other channels violated a content policy. It's beautiful how that actually works. And also, just a few days ago, I learned that YouTube has in fact been running ads in front of some of my videos. For instance, multiple people told me that this episode here has pre-roll ads in front of it, which is frankly amazing. Because for one, we don't get any money from those ads because we're denied monetization. But then secondly, YouTube claims that our channel is not advertiser friendly, and so they refuse to monetize us. But they still run ads in front of our content. They just don't pay us for it. It's almost like being advertiser friendly has nothing to do with it, and it's that actually they're using the purse strings to control what we do and do not say. Regardless, if you'd like to support the journalism that we do here at the Epoch Times, if you'd like to support our work, well, the best way is to subscribe. And in fact, this month, we've extended our awesome sale on subscriptions. Just 25 cents a week for the whole year, which if you do the math, works itself out to just be a single $1 a month. And so if you've been on the fence about subscribing to the Epoch Times, maybe you're not sure whether you're ready or not, but you're definitely sure that you're tired of the censorship and you're looking for a source of honest news, well, perhaps take the sale as an opportunity to try the Epoch Times for yourself. That way, you can get access to everything. Our phenomenal documentaries, the videos, the movies, the infographics, the deep analysis, the awesome articles, the great newsletters, and also I myself publish anywhere between 1 to 3 exclusive episodes of Facts Matter over on Epoch TV. And so if you'd like to watch some extra episodes of Facts Matter every week, including a huge backlog from the past 2 or 3 years, well, you can find it all over on the website. I'll throw a link to the sale page. It'll be right there at the top of the description box below. You can just click on it and head on over to the page where you can subscribe for, again, just a single $1 a month. You can cancel anytime, but I'm sure that you won't. I'm sure that you will love it and be a subscriber for many years to come. Again, that link is right there at the top of the description box below. I hope you check it out. And then until next time, I'm your host, Roman from the Epoch Times. Stay informed. Most importantly, stay free.